Hi everyone, my name is Nadia Danish and I am one of the territory managers here at Barracuda for CudaTel. Today I'm going to go over a brief overview of our CudaTel interface, show you how to set it up, how easy it is to use, and all the great features that come along with it. So once you log into your interface, it's going to show you your dashboard. Here in your dashboard of the admin portal, you'll find updates and support that provides your unit information and the latest firmware that is installed. Here you can see the same system information and determine your current installed firmware, the latest general release, and the latest early release. Also on the dashboard, I can see the phone status. That allows you to see which phones are configured, unassigned to users, which are online, and your available extensions. Here on the status page, it shows you the basic information of your system. It shows you the configured phones, the assigned phones, unassigned phones, phones that are offline, and phones that are online. If you go over to updates and support, it shows you what system you're on, the serial number, the current firmware, your energized updates, and your instant replacement. In regards to pricing with the CudaTel, you pay for the server and the energized updates up front. This will cover your firmware and software updates with the system and technical support. With instant replacement, you can guarantee a brand new box at your office the next day. Down here, it shows us our service providers, lets you know which provider you currently have for your CudaTel, and lets you know whether the directions of the call allowed are inbound or outbound. Here it shows you your voicemail chart. Voicemail simply informs you of the amount of voicemails on your system and whether they are read, unread, and saved, and how much time they are in total. Here it shows you the performance of your system, your firmware storage, how much storage is in use and how much storage is available, your voicemail storage, your CPU load, your temperature, system temperature, and so on and so forth. Moving along into the active calls page. The active calls allow you to view calls that are currently in place and gives you all the information for that call, including the time on the call, the caller's name, the caller's number, and it allows you as an admin to listen in or end the call. Moving along to the system utilization. The system utilization will lead me sessions on LAN traffic where I can view the inbound, outbound calls or inbound, outbound traffic at a given point of time to possibly check out any irregularities or if you just need to determine peak times of calls and traffic. Now going over to the switchboard. When first going over to the switchboard, you see people on a call. Gray means the person is not on a call, and green means the person is on a call. For example, we can see that Michael Collins has been on a call for 11 minutes and 6 seconds, and his extension is 1004. I can also filter through the groups by typing in a specific group name. If I click on Queue Monitor, I can see all of the inbound call queues set up in the system. Here I can see their names, extensions, and how many agents are currently available in that queue. If I need to see specifically what they're doing or their presence, I can click on Agent Monitor below. Here I can see if someone is available on the phone or even in a meeting. For example, if someone's on the phone, I can see their name, extension, destination name and number, and how long they've been on the call. Here in the Agent Manager, you can adjust the status of the agents, and in the Queue Manager, you can adjust who services which queues. So moving along to the Extensions tab, the first section on the Extensions tab is People. People are where users are defined. You can change their extension number, their PIN, their user contact info, and group membership. Voicemail settings such as enable, disable voicemail, and voicemail to email, add or remove phones for users, set call recording policies, and set external numbers such as DIDs happen here. For example, let's go into a user. I'm going to click on Michael Collins. So here you can see first name, last name. Here's an option to change his PIN. Here are the voicemail settings. You can disable voicemail, send voicemail to email like I mentioned before, and you can also add a phone. If we move along to groups, groups serve several purposes, primarily multi-simultaneous ringing and permissions. You can add, remove users from groups, also add, remove permissions, set caller ID, and set call recording policies. If we go to the inbound call queues, this is for organizations that need to handle multiple inbound calls with a group of answering agents. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a new person on the system. So if you go here to your right, you hit create a new person. All you do is enter their first name. I'll use my name for example. I can enter a voicemail login PIN, and I can also add myself to a certain group. Here I can assign myself an extension. I can click unassigned phones, it'll show me what phones are on the system but are not assigned to a particular person. So let's just pick the Polycom phone, and we can just create a new person and it's saved. Here is where we do call parking blocks. At this page, you are able to create the settings for a caller to be parked or set to wait until a specific person picks up a call. Now we're going to move along to multi-user conferences. A multi-user conference is a conference bridge where you can have multiple people on a call talking to each other. Now we're going to move along to the automated attendance. This is where you set up your automated attendance to let users dial from a menu or input an extension. You can create menu trees if needed and do a dial by name directory. So now let's go into one of our automated attendants that we have set up. Here it displays the name, the greeting sound, a short greeting sound, an exit sound, so on and so forth. Here is where you set up the digit actions. For example, if you click 1, you can set it to whereas it goes to either, say, the top of the menu, goes back a menu, hangs up, dial by name directory. So let's choose that one. And if you scroll down, it gives you your digit action summary. So here I chose dial by name directory, so it's going to display it here next to the number 1. Advanced call routers is where the inbound routing magic happens. ACRs allow you to do simple routing as well as advanced routing. All ACRs have rules and action sets. If a rule matches, the system will perform the actions defined in the action set. Actions include ringing an extension, transferring the external number, sending callers to a voicemail, and so on and so forth. Now going to unassigned phones, it shows you all the phones that are registered to the system but that are not being currently used. All extensions is simply a utility page. It lists all extensions defined on the system regardless of the type. So now we're going to go to the Providers tab. Here you can see your SIP providers. You can configure SIP provider connections here. Now we're going to go to Hardware Providers. We're currently on a 270B. That is why you see the 4 analog ports. All of our B models come with telephony cards. Moving along to call routing. Outbound call routing is configured here. You use patterns to match digits dialed by users. You can fail over from one gateway to another. Now we're going to move along to the Report tab. Call detail records show all the lists of activities. CDRs can be viewed on a screen or downloaded. You can search by caller, callee, name or number. If a call is recorded or has a fax associated with it, then a set of controls will display in the recorded file fax column. Other reportings in the system include phone registration. This is a useful tool for admins. It shows active registrations, inactive registrations, and all restricted registrations, which are devices that have attempted to register with the system. Live group activity simply states the system groups. Live activity reports are constantly being updated here. Live queue activity are simple stats for system queues. Statistical reports are in-depth stats for users, groups, and queues. Last but not least is our configuration tab. Here we have the network. It's the basic network IP address settings. Security. These are the WAN port security options. Under the system, shows you the basic system settings like time zone, sound prop language, network on the protocol, and so on and so forth. Here on the Phone tab is where the settings that apply to phones and phone calls, like default area code, ring time before voicemail, ring back tone, user operator destination, codecs, and so on and so forth. Moving along to the Mail tab, this just shows your SMTP configuration. On this tab we have our directory services and our LDAP. Moving along, we have our user import. We can import users via CSV. A template can be downloaded from this page. Here we have our backup. You can schedule a backup. You can use a FTP or SMB as targets. You can automatically perform a backup by clicking here, or you can schedule backups by setting it up here. Here's our event log. This shows the history of who logged in and made changes in the UI, as well as reboots and other items that are also emailed to the admin. Updates displays similar information as the dashboard. It gives you your subscription information, shows you your model number, serial number, the subscriptions you have associated with your device, also any available firmware updates, and release notes. It shows you the latest general release firmware and the latest early access firmware. Here we have our extension blocks. Extension number ranges on the system. No extension number can be assigned unless it falls inside of a defined extension block. Now we're going to move along to sound files. This is where you manage sound files for automated attendance or break-in announcements. Moving along to music on hold. This is where you manage your music on hold files. You can use WAV or MP3 files. You can also define shoutcast streams. You can upload a file and add a stream here. You can also play and download on this screen as well. Now we're going to move along to troubleshooting. This is where you open up a support tunnel. You can have a system shut down or reboot. You can reboot all the phones or restart the telephony engine. The diagnostic tab serves as a self-service diagnostic. It can be used prior to calling support. Lastly, we have our sites feature. Sites are primarily used to have 2 or more CudaTels talk to each other. And that's all it takes to configure your CudaTel. Thanks everyone for joining us today. That concludes our CudaTel demo. If you have any further questions, visit us at CudaTel.com. Thank you.